Hi, what's your name and what do you do?
Hey, I'm Marissa. I work for the Ethereum Foundation on the chain and account abstraction team.
Chain and account abstraction team. So chain meaning like chains, and account abstraction is okay. The new the protocol that allows you to account abstraction. So I saw you on the Trustless conference, and you were like emceeing and doing talks there. So can you give me an overview about like what were like the things on that conference?
Yeah, so it was a great conference. We had the Trustless conference right after we released our Trustless manifesto together with Vitalik. That came out and we got great reception, almost 100,000 signatures already. And so we launched the Trustless conference to debut our new protocol called Ethereum Interop layer, which allows you to do cross-chain transactions in one signature. And it's a trustless protocol and other types of interop protocols. So it's currently live on testnet.
I see. And you're here at the ETHGlobal Buenos Aires, and giving a prize here, sponsoring a prize. Can you tell me what you're looking for this? And I know you have an SDK and it's on testnet.
Yeah, so we're sponsoring a $6,000 bounty for the ETHGlobal Hackathon for usage of Ethereum Interop layer and our EIL SDK. So it's live now, and we're really excited to see what everyone's going to build with it.
What blockchains can you use it on?
So we're live on testnet. So Sepolia, Arbitrum Sepolia, Optimism Sepolia, and Base Sepolia.
I see. Can you tell me more about the process, the history of this, how this came about, this interest in the trustlessness and this EIP?
Yes, so we were thinking that Ethereum scaling strategy is largely through L2s. And because Ethereum has chosen to scale this way, while the Ethereum base layer may have great properties of trustlessness, permissionless, if the L2s don't have those properties, and if the way that you move assets between those L2s doesn't have those properties, then you lose the promise of Ethereum security when you scale with the L2 scaling roadmap. And so we were looking at this and we realized that currently interop solutions have the worst trust assumptions ever. And we wanted to create a solution that would allow us to move assets cross-chain in a trustless way. So we came up with the idea for EIL. It is based on ERC 4337 or account abstraction, and we use this type of multi-chain account to let the user self-execute their own transactions cross-chain and use a liquidity provider to kind of provide the liquidity for the user on the chain, but there's no intermediary that custodies your funds.
I see. How so this is creating replacing bridges, or how there are other protocols that do bridging. How does this compare to that?
Yeah, so this is a way to move money cross-chain just like a bridges. I think there's different, you use different bridges for different things. You may still want to use canonical bridges, for example. You can also do more with EIL, you can directly put it inside a protocol. So I would say this more competes with intent networks as it exists currently versus bridges.
I see.
Although actually we do see a way that we can build an intent protocol on top of EIL in the future.
So intents is you set what chain you want to do the execution, and what token, and then the intent execution would happen from this object that would be sent out.
Yeah, intents as we think of them are imperative. They say what I want to do. I want to swap 100 USDC to ETH. Whereas transactions are declarative. It is the actual call data that is executed on chain. So that's kind of how we're thinking about the differentiation. But you could have an intent, like natural language intent, on top of EIL, which is a transaction layer.
I'm curious about like when did this like process get started? Like how for this EIP?
Yes, so it's not an EIP. It will become a collection of ERCs, of standards. But we started at the beginning of this year, 2025, and have been working on it ever since, and now just released a protocol to testnet and are looking for community feedback on the protocol, on things we can improve before we take it to mainnet in 2026.
And what was the intention behind like organizing this conference, Trustless?
Yeah, the idea was to show people that interop doesn't have to be trusted, that you can do it in a trustless way, and to remind people of the importance of trustless values and why like we as Ethereum stand for that.
Mm-hmm. What were some of, like, in your opinion, like the highlights of this conference, like your most favorite parts that are like, that you were like, highlights?
Well, it was great. We got Vitalik in our swag on stage, and I think he gave a great talk about why we need trustlessness and where trust sneaks in. I think that was great that he gave a talk. Also, Bartek from L2Beat gave a great talk on the new Interop Beat protocol that they're working on, a new way to evaluate interop protocols. L2Beat kind of helps people stay accountable, helps L2 stay accountable for in the case of L2s, or will help interop protocols stay accountable for Interop Beat. So I think those were some highlights.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious about the manifesto. Can you tell me how that came about, like, and what's the intention there, and the overview about like what's in the manifesto?
Yeah, the manifesto, we worked on it. My team worked on it together with Vitalik, and it was to get our ideas about trustlessness and why it's important out there, because I think people have forgotten them, and so we wanted to remind them why it's important. So that's kind of why we wrote the manifesto. And then in terms of what's in it, it talks about, so there's a pledge that people can sign on chain. So almost 100,000 people have signed it on mainnet. And also it goes through all of the things that builders need to think about and protocols need to think about as they're building their protocols in order to build a system that is trustless.
Mm-hmm. And maybe like in your perspective, like what is like the highlights that are the most important parts of the manifesto that are really memorable to you? Yeah,
that's a great question. I mean, I think a lot of it has great strong language, I would say, in the way that we talk about things. There's a few laws of trustless systems that we go over, which I think is important to remember. I think it really all comes down to the walkaway test, which is, let's say a dev team shuts off their servers and walks away or decides to take all the keys. How can a user take their funds out of a protocol by themselves, and can the average user do that? Not just a dev that can run a script on his machine.
I see. So making more of the software be somewhere where it's hosted on, so like decentralized kind of networks, and it's like accessible for like that's open. And so DevConnect just ended today, and like I'm curious, what was like some of your favorite parts of DevConnect? There was like so many things happening.
Well, I have to say our Trustless event. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I can imagine yours had played a role. That was like you put that on and put in so much work in that. How about, can I ask you anything else that is like top of mind for like really interesting things at DevConnect or in the space?
Yeah, we had a great security summit, $1 trillion security summit that Rajiv and Frederick put on today, and that was a great event with a bunch of security researchers talking about how we can secure Ethereum and its surroundings better.
Mm-hmm. Security summit. Was that today?
Yeah.
Was that in the DevConnect kind of space? Oh. Okay. I know there was like DeFi security day, and there was
that was yesterday.
And then there's another one like Argentina security. So there's a lot of I guess security stuff, but yeah, makes sense. Anything else that is like top of mind for you, like from this experience of DevConnect?
I can't wait for India next year.
Okay, Mumbai, India.
Yes.
Do you know what month it is?
I assume it'll be November, but I'm actually not sure. I don't know if they publish. Usually it's November.
Okay. Are you gonna be judging for the hackathon tomorrow?
Yes, we're judging for our prizes.
Oh wow. Okay. What is there any kind of applications or like things that you think are very interesting with this new like EIP?
Ethereum Interop layer?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a bunch of different things people can build on it. We're excited to see what like the hackers build. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
All right. That's it. Thanks. Thank you for your time answering the question.
Thank you.